What's up, y'all? It's the Relentless podcast where we're stirring up passion and purpose for marriage.
That's right. We're diving into topics you always wanted to talk about. Real life, real struggles, real love, and real results. So what are we waiting for? Let's go in. Yo, welcome back, fam. It's your boy, Brock Jones. Y'all back in the house with us, and it's a good day to be with us, man. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Dominique Jones.
Yes.
I like saying your name, Dominique. I can't say it like your mom.
You can't say it.
She says it in such a unique way, Dominique. I've been practicing. I can't get it yet, man.
That's so funny.
But yeah, it's a great day to be with us, man. We got a great topic in store for y'all today. Unrealistic expectations, man. Do you know anything about that? Have you ever had any?
We all have them.
Have you put them on somebody before?
Yes.
Come on. Keep it real, man. We're going to talk about it today in a real way. I remember some unrealistic expectations I had when we got married.
Yes.
And I'm a little ashamed to share some of them. I thought I was going to transform into this like super romantic dude when we got married, right? I thought I was going to turn into like Boys to Men. Like I was going to like just transform into this like expressive, like sensitive Boys to Men dude, communicating, right? I thought that like we was gonna have sex every day, like on the clock, around the clock. It was gonna be, yes, I finally got her, right?
Yes.
It was gonna be you crying when I leave to go to work, right? Waiting at the door for me to get home, just like miserable because I wasn't by your side. Like so many thoughts in my head thinking through like once we put the ring on and go through the ceremony, like all kind of magic was gonna happen and the stars was gonna align and we was gonna just be in perfect sync and harmony. Man, what a wake-up call I had to have, man.
Yes, you did. I'm
For
so
real.
sorry. I didn't live up to that fantasy.
Unrealistic expectations, man.
It's so
Keep it real.
interesting that you had a music group in there because that's actually how you proposed to
I'm
me.
telling you, it's real. I really thought I was gonna turn into Genuine or something. Just
You
you
did.
know.
In fact, that leads to my unrealistic expectation. I don't think I had a lot of unrealistic expectations in the marriage, maybe high standards.
Yeah.
But for our proposal, I don't know. I didn't expect anything, but if any woman would imagine anything, it's like this gondola ride, on this little river, and then we go to dinner after, and then at some point he just drops down to his knee.
Dang,
and
I messed up.
there's like this
I messed
serenade in the background and all of that, and then he pulls out this big ring. But I got Genuine in the apartment. Which in hindsight was very beautiful, but I'm like, can you just express your own words to me?
Hey, that's what I had.
That's what you had.
I gave what I had,
and
man.
I appreciate it.
And I think that's a beautiful segue because like I think when we have unrealistic expectations, we have to reset our mind and say, well, this person is really giving what they have at the time. And if that's all they have to give, like, and they're giving it from a genuine place, then that's reasonable. That's a reasonable expectation, a reasonable deliverable from them.
Yes.
To give what they have. And we have to be gracious because you wasn't waiting at the door for me when I was getting home crying like, oh, I missed you so much.
I was crying because I needed a break.
Yeah, he was like, yo, come get Savion, man. Like, you been gone. Like, I need a breather, right? And that's reality. So we're going to talk through that a little bit today, just about some of those unrealistic things that we have in our minds that we put on our spouses. Yeah. And it ends up creating tension. It ends up creating conflict a lot of times. And it ends up letting us down over time. So what's the first one? Which one we want to dive into?
Well, one big one is this expectation that my spouse is supposed to make me happy. It is their number one job to make me happy.
Yeah. Nah.
What do you think about that?
Nah, because there's days where you get on my nerves, right? There's days when you're irritated. There's days when you got your own world stuff and life stuff going on with you personally, and you're not going to be able to be attentive to pleasing and satisfying every need in my life and making me feel complete and all put together, right? Like, you're going to let me down. Yeah. You're going to hurt me, man. You're going to be something in my life that could be an irritant versus you being my cotton candy and, jelly beans and blow pop every single day, 24 hours. I can't expect you to be that. Like, that would be foolish of me to do that, knowing that you're flawed. Not in a way of like, you're a bad person. Right. You're human. So you're going to let me down from time to time. And if I think you're going to be my source of happiness, I'm losing.
Yeah.
I'm losing.
Well, the reality is happiness is temporal too, right? And so to think that our spouse is always going to deliver that is just, it's unrealistic in and of itself, but also it's too much pressure. Like that is happiness, not even happiness, but joy is something that we find in God, is something we find within ourselves, in a sense of fulfillment. And life is just hard sometimes. So we can't expect that we're going to be happy all the time, but we can have a joy and a peace about our circumstances, regardless of what's happening. And that's way too much pressure to put on a spouse. Like that is a God-sized expectation and pressure that no human, man or woman, can really handle. So I think that alone, like we have to check ourselves if we're disappointed and bitter and resentful with our spouse because they're, oh, well, I want to leave because I'm just not happy anymore.
Hit the pause button.
About that.
Yeah, hit the pause button, man. Listen. That expectation to put God expectations on people, nah, you're gonna lose every single time doing that, man. Because one, those are too big shoes to fill for you. The second part is like they're not your source of life, right? Your breath doesn't come from your spouse. The breath, if you take a deep breath right now, your spouse didn't give it to you. So they can't fulfill and satisfy every need that you have. And if you're looking for them for that, you're gonna be let down every time. What really needs to happen, in my opinion, is you need to find contentment within yourself. You need to go on a self-discovery journey and find out what makes you happy for yourself, and then find contentment in yourself. Because there's like this quote that goes around that says like, my spouse completes me, or my spouse is like, you know, that thing that makes me come alive. We got to come alive and be able to do that within ourselves on our own first. You are a compliment to my life.
We enhance each other.
We're
better together.
Exactly. You don't complete me, you enhance me, you compliment me, and very well, I might add. I'm so much better with you here.
Same, because I'm pretty boring without this guy. And too straight laced, so
it works. It works like that. But I'm happy without you too. Like I have fun without you. I'm cool, but I do feel like I am missing some good things with you. But I'm not looking for you to be my source of contentment in life, and my happiness is not a direct result of you.
And on a real note, what happens when we do that is when life hits, it could be a loss where you just have totally lost yourself in your spouse or your sense of purpose and all of that. And that is like, some of that is natural, but it can be unhealthy. Like if you can't do anything on your own, then that's, leaning towards some codependency. So we do have to have, and I think we'll talk about that next episode, just some sense of our own identity. And I think that's right. Like some joy and happiness comes from that. A lot of joy and happiness comes in that.
True. So that's a big one, man. If you find yourself in that, kind of take a self-discovery journey, right? It's not that you're giving a diss to your spouse. That's not exactly what I'm saying. We're saying, hey, find that happiness, that joy, that contentment within yourself. And if you're a person of faith, man, search for that within yourself, within your relationship with God too. And let him get in those areas and shine a light on where you're codependent or leaning or searching for things in all the wrong places. And you need to search within and get connected there, man. So,
because if not, then a lot of frustration and conflict can arise from that unmet expectations. So with that, what about the expectation that our spouse is now our sex toy or our comfort toy?
I told you one of mine was, one of mine was like, man, listen, we're going to have sex every day. It's going to be on the clock. Like, it's going to be unlimited. Like, we just, you know what I mean? That whole mind frame, like, sure.
Well, like, it's funny because when I realized that, I don't know what possessed me to ask. I think, I don't know. I just was like, hey, what do you need? What do you feel like? I thought I was doing real good. I mean, I would say, arguably, if we laid it out for some people, it's pretty healthy.
We're above average.
We're above average, right? But early on, I was like, okay, like, how are we doing? And it wasn't enough, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, I was adding, I was multiplying and adding and subtract. I was doing the math, right? Like I was doing the math, and that was an unrealistic.
It was. I was like, I cannot
Right.
I don't have much more, and partly it was because we had a baby early. It was I don't have energy. I don't have the drive. And again, it was above average already, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You were like a rabbit.
Well, yeah. What can we say? We get it.
Everybody's wired.
We get it. Everybody's wired in a certain way.
Yeah.
Everybody's desires and stuff are different. So that's something that I don't think is in our control in the sense of how we're naturally wired.
Yes.
What's in our control is the expectation.
Yep.
And so my expectation was that we try to do our dating and marriage the right way.
Yeah.
And so we did our best to try to honor each other in that way. And then when we got married, we had the pressure built up. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Now it's unlimited go time.
Yeah.
Honeymoon baby come in. I'm working. She's going to school. She's pregnant. And me thinking that it was going to be around the clock, sexual activity, kitchen, dry, laundry room,
Yes.
floor,
Yes.
bed, everywhere, countertop, bathroom. Like, come on, bro. She not. She tired, bro. Like, you tired. You done worked all day long. You stop with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for to go home, eat a sandwich and sit down and chill. But that expectation being unmet can actually create some division and some discouragement.
Yes.
And if we not realistic about it and saying it's really not gonna be like that, like stop and chill, then you can set yourself up to feel like, all right, well, let me look somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or let me look to another source to fill that need.
Yeah.
And then now you're getting yourself into some deep, murky
Yeah,
waters.
and not even just sex itself, but like that thought that the honeymoon is just gonna last forever. Like,
right.
We talked about it's a marathon, right? So there's seasons, there's cycles, there's dry times.
Right,
it's not going to be that same passion and fervor all the time because love at the end of the day is a choice.
Right.
And honestly, I feel like our deepest expressions of love was through difficult times, through times where we weren't connecting in that way. So you need all of that. If your relationship is built on sex alone, what are you going to do when you hit 50 years and 60 years? You have to have more than that.
That's right.
Intimacy is so much more than that.
Right.
That is, I think there's 12 different types of intimacy. Like, you have to find different ways to build upon that. But the honeymoon is not meant for every day.
Right. Because real life is going to hit sooner or later, and probably sooner than later for a lot of people. But like, if you're building that upon just that physical aspect, you're going to be let down because your true intimacy comes from navigating life, vision, dreaming together, like planning, growing, navigating those difficult times, conflict resolution, all that kind of stuff, right? And so, like, get that expectation out of your mind, and it's going to be like that. And get the expectation out of your mind that this is your pacifier, your tool, or your toy, or like they're going to be your teddy bear comfort, right? Like smothering and always around. I've met and known people that's like, they do not want to be apart from their spouse, like ever. When they are, then it feels like they're losing something.
Yeah.
You're not going to always be around. I can't smother you. I can't Pepe Le Pew you, right? Like I can't be that. That ain't gonna be how it is. Yeah, so he was squeezing that little cat. Was it a cat?
Yeah.
He was like squeezing and they were both skunks. I thought one of them was a cat and one of them was a skunk.
I don't know.
I can't remember either. But he was just like squeezing and kissing the life out of that poor cat. And that cat was like, "Get off of me! Stop! I can't take no more of that."
Kind of like
you know what I mean? Like.
But that brings up a good point. A lot of media, or even pornography, if we're honest, has shaped our view and our expectation of what sex in our marriage should look like.
Facts.
Speak to that, bro.
No, definitely. Culture, music will shape your mind. It's feeding your mind of what that should look like. TV shows, soap operas, sitcoms, TV series, movies. I mean, our world is littered with sex.
Yeah.
Sex, they say sex is literally everywhere. You can't watch a commercial without seeing some kind of sexual activity. And so it's shaping and forming in our mind expectations of what that's supposed to look like within relationships. And a lot of times it's on the extreme. It's not like general, generic, like the way that it would be in a normal life, right?
Yeah.
When I say normal, I mean like a life where you got a 9 to 5, you got kids, you got all these things going on. It's glamorized, right? And so in our mind, we can set this unrealistic expectation based on what we've seen or heard, right? And all the cooler talk, people boosting up their sexual activity around the table to make it hyper than what it is. Reality is it ain't like that.
Yeah.
But if we think that's how it's gonna be because we've been tainted by what we've seen, then when it doesn't happen that way, we feel like something's wrong with me.
Right.
Maybe I ain't performing well. Maybe I'm not attractive. Maybe I'm not, whatever. And now we got all these insecurities in our relationship that is just creating distance, right? And that's unhealthy and it's unrealistic.
Yeah, I remember us having a real conversation about you had this unrealistic, I guess it was almost a fantasy really of something you had seen in pornography and us talking it out. I was like, honey, that's not real.
Right.
Women, if that happened, that was not the norm. That was an anomaly.
Right.
So for you to equate what you saw to you not satisfying me, that was not like, that was a major unrealistic expectation. I'm glad we had that conversation. Hopefully that's readjusted. Like,
no doubt.
But that was a big thing. If you thought I was never gonna express this certain thing or, climax in this certain way, that was very specific. That can create some dissatisfaction and tension in the marriage.
Right. And that's the dangers of those type of avenues, man. And like we gotta have real conversations.
It's very violent. A lot of it is violent. Some of it is like vulgar. And the Bible says the marriage bed is undefiled. So you can do whatever you want, but y'all need to be in agreement about it and you need to talk about it, like what's comfortable for both of you. And that can grow. That comfort zone can expand over time, but you need to talk about it. And sometimes you can not want to talk about it, but it's important because if you don't, somebody's expectations or need or something is happening that can create all kinds of negative emotions, that temptation can come in or more pornography exposure. So it's definitely a conversation worth having.
Facts. Talk about it, couples out there.
Yes.
Have these conversations. We're trying to model it for you right now. Like put it in the air, right? Amongst yourselves, man, because you can break down some of these walls and some of these thoughts that we have that create negative beliefs, that create negative actions that negatively affect your marriages. So that's why we're talking about this right now, man. Let's talk about the evolution of your partner in the marriage.
Well, even before that, this is a good connection point, but I want to address it when it comes to sex because it's important. The evolution of a woman's body is a real thing.
Right.
So like just with age, you change, your hormones change, that affects...
We got a blooper.
Earring down. It's okay.
Earring down.
Honey, it's fine.
No, I got to save this, man.
He's going to save my earring.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Yes.
You gave me my heart back, y'all. I'm going to just take it off. By the way, for the faithful watchers, let us know which episode I took my earring out.
Oh, it's an Easter egg.
Incognito.
Yes, an Easter egg. Yeah, which one was it?
Yes, but anyway, whether you have kids or not, a woman's body, even a man's body, like your testosterone levels change, right? So even your expectation when it comes to sex, we have to, which is why building other types of intimacy is important because your sex drive is not always going to be your sex drive. Your body type and shape is not always going to be your body type. And after 4 kids, honey, listen, not just the weight, but like my last baby sat in my pelvis and like did some damage, right? And so it can change like your erotic zones. All of that what used to work may not work. So like that's why we have to talk and like be understanding, and love has to be deeper than just that.
Facts. That's the thing. The expectation that your spouse is gonna stay the same the day that y'all said I do and had the marriage ceremony and all that, and to think that 5, 10, 15 years later they're gonna be that exact same person that they was when you married is really, when you think about it, is foolish.
Yeah.
It's really foolish because imagine having kids and expecting your kid to be the same at 5 as they are at 15 or 20 years old. Like you wouldn't think that. You wouldn't put that expectation on them. You would actually be fussing at them like, you ain't grew up yet, you ain't changed yet, you ain't did. Like we have to like be realistic that the youthful whatever person that they were when you got married, they're gonna mature at some place.
Yeah.
They're gonna change, like you said, they're gonna have children, their body change, their hormones change, everything change. So if you're not evolving with them, and if your concept or thought process of who they are is not changing and shifting with them, you're gonna have a problem in your marriage. Right. You're gonna have unmet expectations. Yeah. And then the mind of your spouse is gonna be unrealistic. They're gonna be looking at you like, what? You really think? Right. You really think that's how this is right now?
Especially if you were high school sweethearts. Like you.
Oh man. Shout out to them.
Right. For
y'all that made it that long.
Handful, yes. But you don't even fully know yourself. So I think that's the beauty of marriage is it's the starting line. Right. It's you agreeing to go on this lifelong journey with someone, to learn and grow with them, to learn them, to learn yourself. And that's the excitement and the adventure of it.
Facts. That makes it fun. Like I've been having a front row seat to your evolution since we got married, man. And I think that makes me love you that much more, to see where we started from, to see your thought processes, to see you birth my children, and to see you raise our children, but also seeing you stepping into your purpose and calling and like walk it out as a leader and an entrepreneur and a visionary and like really become who you are. To me, that's sexy. Like that, I love that. Right. You know what I mean? And the fact that I get to like be, your partner, but to also be like your leader in a sense, and to do my best to resource and pour into you in a realistic way, like, and to not put unrealistic, like goals in front of you or unrealistic tasks in front of you. That makes me recognize so much more that I need to give you more grace. Yeah. That I need to be more gracious towards you and not have all these unrealistic thoughts and things in my mind about who you're supposed to be from me. It's a gift to me to be able to, to be what I need to be for you versus asking you to do something for me. Which brings to my mind is something I actually shared on my post, on a Relentless Love post recently. It's being a gardener of your marriage versus a consumer of your marriage. Mm-hmm. A gardener tends his garden. A gardener fertilizes the soil and, gets the soil ready, plants seeds. He's giving into the ground. Right, investing into the ground, right? Cultivating the ground, nurturing the crops or the plants or whatever he's doing because he wants to see it grow. Right. Versus saying, what can I eat right now? Right. Right? What can I consume out of the soil right now? What can I get? The expectation is, let me grow something. Right. Versus let me pluck up. Yeah. And I thought that was beautiful. Like, where do we see ourselves in a marriage? Are we gardeners or consumers? Because I don't need to have a consumer expectation on you that I just need to take an expectation that's not realistic for you. You only got so much to give. Right. Right? I need to be saying, how can I build you up so you can be more fruitful? Yeah. And then you're going to have abundant fruit that I can pick off of whenever it's time for me to pick. And so I think that mindset is a beautiful one to have, but a real one that we got to ask ourselves, like, which one am I?
Well, that's the power of oneness, which we'll talk about next episode. So make sure you tune in. As you share that, I literally was thinking about that. Like there was a time in our marriage where it felt like you were squeezing so tight, and I felt stifled. But as you grew, and it's been an honor to see you grow, and it has been sexy to see you like emerge in your leadership and like, cheers, okay. Which is funny because you all like. For me, attractiveness is not so much about exterior. It's about like your confidence and leadership and how you carry yourself, like getting things done. That's what's attractive to me. So that has been amazing to see. But all that to say, as you opened your hands with me, I began to blossom and flourish. And I think that's what this is about, is we should be growing together and giving each other space and cultivating, creating an atmosphere for each other to thrive. Right. A woman, especially with her words and, how she supports her husband, but also does her thing. Like even resisting that competition is so important. Like we both need to thrive together and we bring out the best in each other. Yeah,
definitely. Water your gardens. Yeah. And it's mutual. Water your gardens. Be a gardener, not a consumer. The word actually says that. Like, man, water your wife with the word. Present your wife as a spotless one that's been clean washed with like a beautiful bride. It's a representation of the church. It's a representation of his bride, which is his people. And so we're kingdom people. So the answers are right there in the word where we can see that. And the husbands water your wives.
Don't hose it down.
Don't fire hydrant.
Don't do the fire hydrant. Like, beating her over the head with the word. And same for wives. Like, be gentle,
And I actually think, and not to get out too off, but this is just a concept in my mind. I actually think it means to live it out with her. It's not to beat her over the head and be like, girl, 2 Corinthians.
Yes.
No, it's to live, embody
it. Out of ignorance, people do that. They do what they saw modeled, or if they had an unhealthy, family system.
Right.
So,
live it out.
Live it out. And it is like a fountain. It's like that gentle, fountain, watering, pouring out.
Serve.
So,
Serve.
Yes.
So what would be your big takeaway points if we could leave the audience with like 1 or 2 things to say, hey, regarding unrealistic expectations in your marriage, right?
Yeah.
Like, what would we give them as far as nuggets?
I would say the big thing is remembering sometimes culture and even just being young, you can think, okay, getting to the wedding or getting to marriage is the end. Like, oh, finally I'm here. Now let me unbutton my pants and take my wig off. No.
Leave your wig off. Don't scare them like that. Don't scare them
Which is good. That's the relief of marriage. Yes, you can be your true authentic self, whatever that looks like. But it's the starting point. That's when you start the race together. So you can't give up hope. You can't give up effort. You can't not put in the work after because, I won them. Now I'm done. No, that's when you start. That's when the work begins.
Right.
So that's what I would say. Marriage is a starting point. And it's going to require work. It's going to require effort. Yeah, I agree. I think too, that grace point, the giving grace to your spouse, giving grace to them, not weighing them down. Like imagine your spouse trying to be, and this is from a man to a woman. Imagine your wife trying to be wife, mom, employee, entrepreneur, housekeeper, keeping up the house. Like imagine all that, and then coming behind that, you put 10, 15, 20 other things on her plate, or 15, 20, 30 more pounds on her back. And she's walking around with all these expectations of who she should be. And then she got to make love to you. Right. And then she got to affirm you and coddle you and do it. No, be gracious. You're human. Yeah. They're human. Yeah. And they need more grace than they need more load down on their shoulders. So I would say be as gracious as you can with your spouse, especially if you really know and understand that their intentions are for good for you. They may not be doing everything right. They may not be getting it all right. But if their intentions are good and they're desiring to get better and grow, then release some of the expectations of who they should be right now and let them evolve and grow into who God wants them to be in the marriage, right? And don't think you made the wrong choice because they're not fully satisfying every single need that you have right now and pleasing you in every single way. They're going to hurt you. Yeah. That comes with the friction of marriage. Right. There's going to be some arguments, some disagreements. There's going to be some nights you're not satisfied, right? That's where you need to go to God. Right. Take what you can get from here, from what they can give you. Don't be unrealistic in what they're supposed to give you. And when you have needs that are not met, are those God needs? Mm-hmm. If they're God needs, then you need to go to God and get those fulfilled and allow your spouse to be human and be who they are for you. So I think that's a big deal, man. And that involves communication, talking, and being gracious with each other. Yeah, and remembering that you're not, the same person that you were when you first got married. So just being committed to love each other through every season. That means good. I don't know why people forget their vows. We say better or worse, richer or poor, but then when the reality of it sets in. So when it's a dry season, a low season, your spouse is grieving, if they're going through depression, whatever it is, that's when they need you to love them the most. Don't kick them while they're down. Don't leave them while they're down. Love them through it.
That's real.
And your needs will get met.
We ain't even hit on that. We out of time, but man, the financial part.
Yeah.
That's big. If you think y'all finna just blow up and money gonna be everywhere and things don't go the way you think,
whole other episode.
That's a we could. Oh Lord, hey,
that's a whole episode.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Nah. Hey, we love you guys, man.
Yes.
We love having these conversations.
Thank y'all
with you.
for tuning in. Y'all been giving such amazing feedback. Keep it coming because we want to build these topics and conversations around what you need.
Facts. And if you are out there and you need any marriage help, you need mediation, you need coaching, you need anything, please contact us. Our information is on our web pages and on this link for this podcast. So reach out to us. We would love to pour into your marriage. Much love from me to you. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace out.